Well, hello and good evening. It is quite a while since I have been out. I've been away on holiday over in the United States and in California specifically, and got to see some amazing things. Anyway, enough of that. There'll be more of that in the coming days, I guess. In the meantime, I decided that after about a month it was time that I got back out with my camera, and so here I am. I am back at St Huberts Church in Hampshire, in the south of England, and this is an amazing, beautiful, ancient old church. And I've decided that as it's not Milky Way season, there's astronomical twilight doesn't end. Basically, it goes straight back into nautical twilight, so we don't get really dark skies, we don't get full night at this time of year, which is a bit of a shame. Anyway, because of that, Milky Way opportunities are a bit limited. Also, the sky isn't looking great. It should clear a bit, and I'm hoping that it's going to clear enough for me to do some star trails. I did a little bit of experimenting with some star trails in California and was quite pleased with the outcome. So I'm going to have another go here today. There's a train going by, we'll just wait for that. And there's some horses going by in the lane down the road, but you know, they're a little quieter, that's fine. Anyway, so I'm going to try for some star trails. I'll obviously have to wait till it's reasonably dark, so I'm probably going to be looking at about 11 o'clock at the earliest. Sunset is about 9:15, so probably a couple of hours after that. And I shall probably take about, I reckon, about 45 minutes worth of shots. Last time I did some star trails, I took shots over about a 2-hour period and ended up with way more star trails than I really wanted. In fact, you could barely see the sky for the stars. So what I found was that it was better to use less. So I used, I think, about 40 minutes, maybe even half an hour's worth of star shots. So I'm going to take about 45 minutes worth today, make sure I've just got at least enough in the bag and see how that goes. This is pretty much the composition that I'm going to be looking at from here. So north is about up there roughly, and so the stars will kind of wind their way around that point. Now, if by an amazing chance we do happen to get some really clear skies and it looks dark enough, then I can point the camera the opposite direction from beyond the church back towards where the Milky Way would be. But honestly, I don't think it's going to happen. We've also got the issue of light pollution in that direction from Portsmouth and its environs. So there we go. Enough waffling on for the moment. I'll fill in a little bit of technical detail in a minute from back in the van. See you in a moment. So in the event that I do manage to get a clear sky. Oh, wow. Well, there I was doing a little bit of recording on the iPhone with PhotoPills, and I noticed I think it was a barn owl, just swooping around, and so I had to quickly stop what I was doing, try and switch the camera into my wildlife profile and see if I could grab a shot. Unfortunately, it was a bit of a grab shot, and a number of grab shots, and I did manage to catch it just as it decided to dive to get some prey in this long grass. And unfortunately, it's not really sharp, so it's not a winner and it's not particularly a keeper, but just goes to show you've got to keep your eyes peeled, because you never know what you're going to find. And it's good to have these profiles set up on your camera so that when something does happen, you can get switched into a different mode and a different range of settings as quickly as possible. I just needed to be that bit closer and a bit more exact with my focusing technique on that one. But there you go. Right, so where was I? Let's get back to that PhotoPills thing. What I was explaining was where the Milky Way is going to be, and what I'll do at this point, I'll just show you a still of the image that I captured on the iPhone with PhotoPills to show where the Milky Way would be this evening if it's shootable. Okay, catch you in a bit. Well, the chances of a nice sunset are looking up. The sun has come out to play at the moment. We've got some high-level cloud. The horizon is kind of clearing. So I've got all the gear out. And I'm going to take up position and see what the sunset brings us. Let's hope it's good news. Well, I wasn't quite really happy with the composition that I put together earlier, and that's because of the lack of foreground detail. So I have more interest. So I've come further back and taken advantage of these rather nice wildflowers here. These giant daisies. Not sure quite what they're called. I can't remember. I did know once, but the old memory's gone. Anyway, I think that's improved it somewhat. So up in the sky now, we have these mare's tails, and just to make sure I bring out as much of that as possible, I have slapped the polarizer on, and I have shot at a number of different settings for the polarizer, so with very little and up at maximum as well. If you use a polarizer and you've got a really clear blue sky then and a wide angle lens, the chances are you're going to get some nasty, really deep changes in the colour of the sky across the image. But when you've got a sky like this where it's broken up by clouds of some sort or other, then that's not such an issue. So I've experimented right from pretty much no polarizer right up to lots of polarizer. Also shot at different shutter speeds as well, because it's a little bit of a breeze, and at ISO 64 the camera wanted about 20th of a second, and so there'd be a little bit of motion in these grasses then. So I put the ISO up to 400, and so that I could get a quicker shutter speed of about 80th of a second. That ought to be enough. You know, well, it's a very light gentle breeze. Okay, see what sunset brings us. We aren't that far away now. The time is 25 past 8, about 50 minutes till sunset. So technically I suppose we're in golden hour, and hopefully it's sometime in the next 40 minutes, 1 hour or so, we may get a little bit of colour in the sky. May, because, well, firstly it's me out on a photographic shoot, and that never helps. And as you can see on the horizon there is some cloud, so it's going a bit milky at the moment. I'm hoping some of that will thin and disappear and give us enough to light some of these mare tails a little bit later on. Time will tell. Catch you later. Well, hello, I am, as you can see, back in my office, in my study, and sad to say I didn't do any further recording that night. It was quite a long night in the end, and just about everything that could go wrong with the skies went wrong for me. The sunset turned into a bit of a damp squib, and I'll show you the most that I could make out of that. Really turned into pretty dull grey event, really. So but nevertheless I did get one particular shot here that has little bit of merit, but it's not great. And then I moved into the sort of blue hour time, and I thought I'd take some ambient shots of the foreground that I was really looking for my night shots. So I went on to take care of that, and then I did a load, once it was a bit darker, I did some light painting of the field area in front of me. Took quite a number of shots of that, highlighting both the well, it's not really crops here, but the tall grasses and various parts of the church building as well. And unfortunately, I spent so long doing that that while I was doing it, despite the forecast, it began to cloud over. Now, that was a problem because my plan for the evening was to shoot star trails. Now, the settings that I use for shooting star trails and the settings that I use for shooting light painting, of course, are not the same. So when I'm light painting, typically what I will do is I will set a 10-second exposure time, and I will, during that 10-second period, expose various parts or a part of a scene with torchlight, handheld torchlight, and or some low-level permanent lighting. Now, in this particular case, I was doing a mixture of both, and because where the building was, the church was, required quite a walk around these tall grasses for me to get there. What I did is I set it on an interval timer to take a shot every 12 seconds for a 10-second period. And I probably took about 150 shots, something like that. And about 50 shots in, really the sky had clouded over so much that the shots were not useful from the point of view of using the sky. But nevertheless, I did manage to get about 7 minutes worth of relatively clear sky, just the upper portion of the sky here, not the whole of it. And that was enough for me to get a fairly minimal kind of star trail effect. And so what I'm going to show you now, as this video comes to an end, is the outcome of some of those shots. So all of these are going to be composite images to some degree or other, other than the this sort of, I can't really call it a sunset shot, but this dusk shot really. And then you know, these are the sort of best of the images. If I just put that one on full screen, I'm actually really pleased with this shot, and I'll dwell on this one as the video comes to an end. So we have here a composite foreground. So this has been lit with torchlight, and in the background I've got a composite of the property here, of the building, of the chapel, and this is lit partly with low-level lighting and it's partly ambient light. So it's taken quite a lot of blending, this image. The sky was, the clouds were very yellow from light pollution from Petersfield, and so I have had to toy around with the white balance quite a lot to get a reasonable looking sky to go with these stars, and it's taken quite a bit of blending in. So I really have had to work on this one to get what I hope is a nice image. I really do like the foreground here. I like these daisies that are showing up in these tall grasses, and the tones within the sky in the end I think have come out about as good as I could get them. So anyway, I hope you might have found that interesting. Didn't all come out the way that I planned, but as with many shoots, you have to think on your feet and normally you'll come away with something that makes the trip worthwhile. I think that's probably the lesson from this particular shoot. Anyway, if you've made it this far, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.